Gnosko, so have knowledge beforehand. So you are knowledge, that bis, you are that, you are the word. And we always give thanks and lift up your agape, your love. Name is something that people don't know what name is. That's not name is this covenant. All the yods, jots, and tittles that can't be changed, or that's the other gospel that Paul spoke about. So thank you, Father, for these truths. I thought I would come in here. I'm pretty tired, pretty long day, got a lot done. Got the ditch covered up. Still need to probably have him go a box blade. It's just kind of stuck towards the edges, but definitely they came out. They got the electric company to come out and look at it, and they said it was perfect. They said it looked excellent. So said bury it. So I had and come over and get it buried. A lot of shoveling and raking, so I'm pretty sore again, but oh well, got her done. Like I said, I'm going to try to have them blade it around the edge where the ditch was. I drove the Forerunner in it, got it packed down pretty good, so we'll see if we can get it all the way even. Kind of toasted the driveway, but oh well, I need to bring some more gravel in eventually anyway, so maintenance takes maintenance to keep property up, so I'll have to get another load of gravel, bring another load of gravel. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, sweetheart. How you doing, my girl? My bittiest girl that I have. You come to say hi to the dad. She loves the dad. She loves a dad. She's a dad's girl. Dad's girl. She's dad's girl. She with her little motor box. Oh, all right. Thank you, Father. I'm gonna go eat some more. She's a little chow hound. She eats more than Bone does. She probably weighs like a 16th as much as Bone weighs, but she eats 3 times as much. Mr. Bone, he's a good boy. He was a good boy today too. So, yeah, they came out on the news and said that the militaries of the America, the America, Gulf America, the whackers, people like to whack their balls. But they're going to blend the militaries with Satan Yahu's army. Israel is a man, not a country, so it's an abomination just to begin with. It's not following the covenant of this testament that he made 2,600 years ago. So that's not the Israel that's mentioned in the scriptures. So, but I got it right again. Yeah. The United States of Israel. What are you doing? So here they combine, they're going to send more money to Israel. So told you, it's in the 90s, they're going to chop this country up and sell it off. So that was Satan Yahu's plan. Hi, girl. Hi, pretty girl. Hi, pretty girl. You're my bestie. You're my best girl. You sure are. You're my best girl. You're my bestest girl that ever did have. I hear their little motorbox. She's hanging out with her dad. Oh, girl, you're the bestie girl that I ever did best. Want some nubbins? Oh, there's a puppy. There's the puppy. Would you put your paws down, Mr. Bobo? She just likes to look at the dad. Who's looking at your dad? Are you looking at your dad? Trying to give dad some loving? I love you. And give me some kisses. She won't kiss me. She won't. She'll get right in my face. drunk again. Shut the hell up, you idiot. I don't drink. Are you smoking crack again there? Are you on the fentanyl? Taco bending? Doing the taco bender? Hi, pretty girl. Hi, pretty girl. Pretty girl. Pretty girl. What's she doing? Oh, she's hanging out with her dad. So, all right. So we get Mr. Pants, Mr. Pants, Mr. Pants, Mr. Pants, Mr. Pants. He's getting loved. Mr. Pants, Mr. Pants, Mr. Pants, Mr. Pants. He was a good boy today. She was. She was hanging out too, working. Would you put your paws down, please, kitten? Don't get up on me. What are you doing, girl? What are you doing, pretty girl? What are you doing, my pretty little girl? My pretty little baby? My pretty little girl? My pretty little girl? What are you doing, little girl? Hey, psst. What are you doing? What are you doing? I love you. You're being a good girl today. Helping Dad with the road. Helping Dad with the road. It sure was. Her was laying in the road. Dad was fixing the road. Her's a working kitten girl. She works out here at the farm, huh? She does a good job. Sure does a good job. Oh, I love you. You're my best girl. She's gonna go eat some more. Oh, oh my goodness. So I still have to kind of get that ditch kind of filled a little bit. It's gonna probably set a little bit, but not much. I got it. Like I said, I drove the 4Runner over it pretty good. He drove that equipment over it, so I think it should be pretty packed in. I don't think it'll move much, but I just need to get the box, put that blade on it and blade that out one more time on the driveway so I can get it smooth. And that's probably something I'll want to do. I don't like driving in here in mud, so I'm gonna have to try to get on that and come up with some more gravel. Get a load of gravel out here. It's pretty crazy how much a load of gravel costs these days. Maybe this time I'll put some cinder up in here. Be nice to put some cinder, maybe get some cinder, get some red cinder up in here. I like that stuff. So kind of already have a base with that, the 3/4 minus, or the pit run is what they call it out here, but it's pretty much the same thing, pretty close to. So I always knew it was 3/4 minus, but they call it pit run. But either way, I could definitely use some more of that out here eventually. It'd be nice too to have that go around the driveway. Get a couple loads and go around the cinder all the way around the driveway, and then back up by the house, and then maybe even over to the Rusty Dragon. So I could probably get 2 loads. Might be able to do that. Get all this front area. And eventually I'm going to have to bring in some more too, because I need gravel for the pad for the house. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, everything is freaking crazy priced. Everything, bark and gravel and mulch, everything is through the roof, man. It's not going to get cheaper either. I don't see how people are not seeing what is happening, but so I'm trying to get as prepared as I can and get as much as I can before the system, resets itself. It's probably just gonna lock up. Like I've said, I don't think it's gonna do a full collapse. It's gonna lock up and they'll bring the new system in. If it collapses, then they can say they can bring it back. They need it to lock up and say it's broken, so they can bring a new system in. And that's what they're already doing. So that's where all the data mining stations are, part of the new system. Part of the new top-down control with the Starlink sticky muskrat. Get it, girl, get it. She's got a freaking mosquito or daddy long leg out of the air. Freaking crazy, girl. Man, that cat is fast. She got a daddy long leg out of the air. We'll watch it. She just ate the daddy long leg and then did a head shake. You're a crazy girl. You're my best girl. No daddy legs allowed in this house, huh? She just literally ate that daddy long leg. She was chasing around. So what did she do in the head shake? Did that have a little funky taste? Go eat some food. You're such a good girl. You're the best girl. No daddy long legs allowed in here, huh? Oh, you're licking your chops? Is that good? She's a savage, I'm telling you. She is freaking nothing. So many birds. That cat eats more birds than any other bird, too. She's like Reese was a bird. I think she's Reese reincarnated. She really is. She looks very close to Reese. I saw a picture of Reese. I was like, oh, what's that? Reese didn't have the full chimera face, but she did have a kind of a part split face. So, oh man, but she don't let nothing get out here. No mice, no mice, no mice, no mice, huh? No mice in this, no mice anywhere on this whole 40 acres. So I moused the whole 40 acres. Yes, I do. She even gets into the back, you know, to the back there. She'll go back even in the back. I don't have problems with, there's some trailers, travel trailers and stuff that have stuff in them. And not much, very little mice, sign of mice, but she keeps this whole property. Eventually, I think I'm probably going to get another cat here soon, but I don't know. It's hard to get a cat with Kevin's cat because he's so freaking dominant. He's been actually being kind of mean to her. I don't know why. She's fixed now. Maybe he's like, come on, what's up with you? Get it, girl. And she's not really interested anymore. So it's nice that she's not heating anymore. She was going to heat like every other month or every month there. It seemed like. Thank you, Father, to be able to get her all fixed. Oh, what a busy day. What a busy day. Oh, man. I got the electrical inspector. He showed up at about 8:45, 9 o'clock almost, something like that. I think it was pretty early there, so had to go to town and get the electrical permit filed. So 2 more permits to file, 2 more septic permits. He's going to come tomorrow and he wants to redig those test holes. I can get that next. I have to pay for the septic, so they'll come out and inspect and then look at the soil and tell me how many feet of line that I need. And then the tank is a whole separate final. That's like a final inspection on that. So we're working. We're getting there. Big day today. I got to figure out. I'm gonna probably have Rick help me tomorrow with that box. Try to get that box mounted up on that pole. It's pretty big. I don't know what it weighs, but it's a big box, so it takes up the whole back of the 4Runner. So I might be able to get it up there. I'm not sure. I was thinking about just putting a brace on it, and I haven't opened it up, see what kind of screw, how it mounts. I'm sure it's just holes, but I might be able to get it out or the back of the 4Runner. Just worry about getting it up because it's pretty heavy. But I probably can get it up on a brace and then screw it on. I probably don't need them to help me. So that's how I normally do things. But oh, I'm pretty girl. Oh, pretty girl, pretty girl, pretty girl. Oh, my pretty girl. Oh, my pretty little girl. She's a pretty little girl. You say hi? I'm doing some scratches underneath the chin. Some scratches. Oh, say hi. This is the Juniper girl. She's a pretty girl. She's my Bessie girl. She's the bestest girl that I ever did have. That I ever did have. That I ever did have. All right. I'll let you down. You're a pretty girl. You want to go back outside, sweetie? I think you might want to go back outside. I think I got that looking. Not you. She ate all her food. She ate all her food. You're a freaking little chow hound. You know that to eat more than the puppy dog. I love you. Be good girl. Come wipe the door when you want to come back in. Spoiled girl. Spoiled little girl. Spoiled little girl. And a spoiled puppy too. And a spoiled puppy too. And a spoiled puppy too. And a spoiled boy. And a spoiled boy. And spoiled too. Say, okay, she's out of here now. I can give Dad some lovin's. Now I can give Dad some lovin's. Now I can give Dad some lovin's. Oh, you're the bestest guy I ever did too. Yes, you are the bestest too. You were the bestest boy ever did, boy. Ever did, boy. I love you. You're a good boy. Thanks for helping Dad today. You're a good helper today. You're the best helper I ever had. You're the best helper I ever did have. It's the biggest helper. The biggest one. Thank you for being a good boy today. You're my best guy and my bestest boy. Silly boy. Silly guy. We love the bone, huh? The bone helps the dad every day. He is the best helper I ever had. He always wants to help the dad. He's a good boy today. He got some visitors today, huh? Oh, you're just a lover boy. You're just the bestest boy I ever did have. Oh, what a good boy. Just giving Dad a hug. Just giving Dad a hug. More hugs for the dad. Second hug for the dad. I know Dad was busy all day today, huh? See, Dad, he didn't give me no hard no lovin's, just a little bit of lovin's today, huh? He's a good boy. He's a dad's boy. Kinda a little bit. Kinda a little bit. Okay, Betty, get off of me, old big boy. You think I'm a jungle gym, don't you? You think I'm a jungle gym. That's not a jungle gym. You're just like having a little kid. You know that? You're just like having a little kid. You're just like having a little kid. Gonna climb all over me. Oh, thank you, Father, for good puppies. Hey, good kitties. Oh, man, I'm whooped. So, better not stay in here too long. I'm gonna freaking pass out early tonight, I can tell. I just gotta lay down. I'm sore. Rest my body. I gotta get up and get more done tomorrow. So, yeah, he's my little cuddle buddy. He's a freaking little lover. He likes being. He's a dad's boy. So, I'm a dad's boy. And the kittens, all the animals love the dad. So, chickens follow me around like my little herd of velociraptors that follow me around. So, they're pretty amazing. They'll come out and follow me around too out on the farm if I'm working there out there. Got to be around Dad. All the animals are hanging around the dad. Oh, thank you, Father, man. What a good day today. I'm burnt. I'm spent. I was already sore before I started the day. So I got to just work through it. I don't have my breath. I've been doing this for so long, and there's days I have to work through it, whether I like it or not. Take my breaks because I can't do it all day, but hey, we're getting her done. Thank you, Father. Boy, those both turned out where the risers come out of the ground. They both turned out right exactly, right sitting there right at the level of the ground. So he was really, like I said, he didn't stay long. He came and he wanted to look at the makeshift road. He walked up the road. I was like, you like my makeshift road? He's like, yeah. I was like, so you go that way or this way? And he walked across it and came in, and then Um, he looked at the one side when he walked past it, and then he walked over to the other side. And he goes, "Nice and level, looks great. Bury it." And I was like, "Thanks," you know. And then walked him out over towards the where the electrical box. Said, "Hey, can you look at this electrical box for me?" And he goes, because I wanted to remind him. And he goes, "Oh yeah, you're getting the 400 amp." And he said, "Yep." And then he got on the phone immediately, and he called the Ryan, the guy who's going to do the install, and told him, all right, he's good. Gave him the amount, 400 amps, so they'll bring the right, wire for it, and give me that bigger wire for the house. That was a good decision, even though it's been a little bit more of a, I had to buy another box where I didn't want to buy it, but it's okay. I'll try to get the other one sold as soon as I can, and if it doesn't sell immediately, it's all right. It'll sell eventually. Um, Feel like putting some maybe money in the bank. I hope I can sell it before the septic. That that's not as much as the final septic inspection, but it's all, I have it up for $6.99, so I've taken a loss on it. You know what I'm saying? But either way, like I said, it'll be a chunk for later. Somebody will buy it out here. There's too many people out here. I think I'm going to list it on the local page, around here, because people are building out here, and they're getting kind of swamped. The economy is a lot going on with the economy, and I'm telling you, a lot of people are struggling right now. Again, people are going to go from, thanks for coming in, Captain, uh, from a mortgage payment, living middle class, to an RV because they miss one mortgage payment and they can't refinance their house. So a lot of people live on credit. A lot of people don't really own their much. They have a lot of credit, and they spend more money, and because they make more money, they spend more money, and they live on credit. A lot of people, I told you, the average home in Bend, Oregon is 800,000. Every third home sold for $1 million. So it's pretty tough to put means together in this world unless you have worked hard your whole life and have, put away and made some good investments. You're always one paycheck away from, like, if you can't, even people who are middle class. I've dealt with people of all, classes, rich, upper class, upper middle class, lower class. You know, a lot of people who have a lot of things doesn't mean that they own those things, and a lot of them are on credit. You know, I found that out with a lot of, you know, upper class and upper middle class. They have a lot of things, but they have a lot of debt. you know, it's tough. Like I said, you miss one mortgage payment and you go into a RV. So there are a lot of people who are cashing out, getting out into the cities, and saying, "I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to keep, uh, not going to keep living in this big, huge house. Why not go find a piece of land in the country somewhere and get in a small house? You know, if you're not willing to live in a shed or in a tent or something to start, and build up from the ground up, some people are never going to own their home. It's just too stretched. Now they're going to do a 50-year mortgage payment. That's insane. Always attached to your home, and then you could lose it because taxes. They could tax you out of it. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that amazing? Any a humble young man, you know what I'm saying? Great energy, great, super humble, just as humble as it can be, humble guy, and got a lot of personality for being humble too. You know what I'm saying? He comes off as yeah, he's doing his new boat now. I think he's all going to reset. Yeah, so I figure that's why you might like him, Captain. He's worked hard for what he has. You can tell he took the, again, he tells the story about the kind of how he did it. He said, there was a guy up there here, one of the, I forget where he first, set sail at, and it's somewhere on here on the Oregon coast. And he said, a lot of people will buy a boat, but they never actually go out and do it. There's people who talk about it, and there's people who actually will buy a boat, but they never actually set sail. They might not leave the harbor. They might take a stroll out, but they'll never go out to the deep water and go, what I'm saying, and have any. But that's okay. It's not for everybody. Lifestyle is the water is definitely it takes a certain person to live that lifestyle. You know, so either or you are. That's what I found with water. People either love it or hate it. You know what I mean? If there any extended period of time, something to take a short trip and then they get seasick and they'll never want to go on the water again. So, yeah, if you've never been seasick, you might not want to. That could be not the funnest experience if you're not used to being out there. Yeah, it takes a certain mentality. So, but yeah, I think obviously Oliver fits he fits you know the boat the boot. So it seems like he's got the right personality, the perseverance, and it takes somebody with discipline to live that lifestyle. But then look at all the times that you get to lay back and just let the world just pass you by and not even worry about it, because it's just worldly nonsense. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. So it's more about experience. To me, I'm ready to have experiences. So I'm trying to get this physical thing done out of the way, get this ministry finished up, and you know, we'll see. I've even possibly figured out a way without even selling the ministry. I might be able to pull this off. I'm a pretty persevering person. I keep at things. If it's just a militant or what. Huh. I had somebody respond to me on my truck that I was for sale. So, but yeah, I'm been really kicking around the idea of doing that here down the road. Setting a goal. I think that's obtainable. To If I wanted to travel, I think that'd be a better way to actually see more people than to travel and be landlocked, where you're just traveling one continent at a time, skirting the coastlines. You can meet a lot more people, um, have a lot more experiences that way. As far as uniqueness, maybe not, because you're just one continent, one country. One. I mean, there's continents that have several countries, obviously, but skirting the coastline is a pretty neat thing. And then you can always go inland. Put your there's harbors and ports and things you pull in and dock your boat and go do some inland stuff for a day or three. Get a short visa or something, like a short stay or whatever, temporary, and go enjoy some of the inland things for a little bit, and then go set sail again and go find another location. So it inspired me quite a bit. Coming in here. I mean, it's something I've always wanted to just travel, and have the experience. But I think that's one of a better way to do it. What a unique way to do it. And I'm a huge food person. I mean, everything I do is constantly food. I never stop thinking about food. But having a having a source of food where you don't have to feed the fish, but only one time, and then it's on your dinner plate, is pretty awesome. You don't have to feed it. We said that the other day. I said that the other day. I was talking about how many times you got to feed a fish before you can eat it, raise it from a small fish to a big fish. How many times you got to feed it? You know, or how many times you got to fish before you can eat it? Once, once, and it's right there on your plate. So I like the idea of not having to feed fish. Have a constant food source under your. You can, if you're in a sailboat, you probably have to obviously have like a dinghy or something like that, and set anchor out there, but you can hit the shorelines and there's always going to be food on the edge of the shorelines too. You know what I'm saying? If there's a tide, you have tide pools and different, water pulls back, and, so it's pretty amazing. So, but, yeah, thank you, Father, for the ability to see that this future is food is going to get extremely expensive, and having a source of good fish, and be tradable would be a great way also to obtain some, amazing other things to eat with having a good source of uh, just whatever the specialty. There are a lot of different fish that are specialty fish too. Let's talk about that, having specialty, um, finding the niche, and then capitalizing on that at the time, kind of like you know, a beanie baby or something like that, a purple bear or some, you know, garbage pail kids, whatever's hot at the time, run with that. And you could, man, you could probably, people love fish. I sold fish for 10 years of my life. I sold fish. I sold not just fish, but, all wild caught seafood. And so I know, when I had, when I had good fish, I knew I was going to make some money too. I do a surf and turf because I sold Angus, all traceable Angus. And when I could offer somebody a surf and turf for, you know, $7, $5 to $7 a plate for their meat, they're like, what the hell are you talking about? But they had to buy more. I sold large volume. I was a volume distributor, but anytime you buy more, you'll get a better deal. So buy 3 sailboats, see what kind of deal they give you on 3 sailboats. You'll always get a better deal. Buy 3 Humvees, whatever. Nobody wants Humvees anymore, huh? I don't really see those things driving down the road. Those little Humvees that they came out with, those things were garbage anyways, but not too many. What happened to all the Humvees? You see Humvees driving down the road. Not very often to see a Humvee anymore. Huh, interesting. But I like those 4-door Jeeps they got. Those 4-door Jeep pickups. Those things are pretty neat looking. I've seen one of those that's got like a kind of like that Aztec ugly looking back end on it, but looked really good on that Jeep. A canopy, a snug top, but it was like angled at like a 45. It was really nice looking. It's like, man, what the heck is all that? Actually, it was a dually too. Somebody had hopped that thing up, turned it into a dually Jeep. It was pretty neat looking. But anyways, I'm like I said, I'm trying to get this power in here, get this septic, get this place where I can either split the homestead and rent out the homestead, and or lease the homestead for 6 months to a year at a time, turnkey homestead off and on the grid. I think I can, with where I live, it's popular. I don't live, I live close enough to Bend, Oregon that somebody could come out here on this homestead, and, they couldn't, for the price they pay out here, they would travel and, pay them to commute in Bend would have cost them to, you're probably looking at $6,000 a month to probably rent a homestead like this in Bend. And I might be able to rent it to them for like 1,500 to 1,800 a month, and for a turnkey homestead, and with multiple cabins and a 2-bedroom house. And I think I'm going to move that, guys. I think I figured out what I'm going to do. I was looking in the cabin today, or in the new in the house. I'm going to take and rip that kitchen out where that kitchen's at, and I'll put that kitchen in that bedroom, and that little small bedroom in there, and I'm going to knock that wall out of there and make a table you can sit on both. You can serve out of that kitchen. You know what I'm saying? There'll be a doorway. You can go in that kitchen down the hallway, but then I'm going to turn that other one into a bedroom over there where the kitchen's at. So it's got bedrooms on both ends instead of the bedroom in the middle. And I can make it a bigger bedroom and a smaller kitchen. You know what I'm saying? And then I can make a washroom, and I could because you walk in that area and that's where the washroom and the freeze dryer would be. But I could put a doorway right there, and that'd be into that bedroom. So it'd be 2 separate entrances, just two, and you can enter into the kitchen. I mean, it just puts all that kitchen, living room, dining room, and have that, put a nice, countertop, big slate or something. I'm going to find something off the chain. I'm sure I will. I'll find something over the top, but I'm going to take that wall out of the middle and leave the corner, and put a bar height, where you could put like I've got the tractor seat stools. I can put the tractor seat stools in there, and sit down at a bar, and then I can serve out of the kitchen right there in the middle. Just I have to move the plumbing, but the plumbing's right next door in the bathroom anyways. There's water right there, so I could tie in right there. So I think I think that's the better thing to do. That'll make a nice little bedroom back there, and have a nice bedroom on the other side, and it'd have two separate entrances. If I ever wanted to, somebody come out here, they could stay in that bedroom and have their own entrance. So I think I like my floor plan better already. I'm going to get some doors and do some cutting, and I'm not going to do that right away anyways, but can you see what I'm saying? You've been in there. So, what I'm saying, when I walk in the living room, the kitchen's to the right, you see that fireplace down that hall. But if I leave that corner, I'll put a big, you know what I'm saying? I'll put a big, well, I'm not going to do a bed and breakfast out here, but I could, because we have what is called Cowboy Dinner Treat out here. And people come from all over the world to Cowboy Dinner Tree out here. You can look it up. It's one of these dine-ins, drive-ins and dives. It's been open for a while, but the lady who started that business several years ago, she sold it. It's sold again to somebody else, and they keep the same exact menu. Nothing's changed because the lady still lives here. She bought a property down the way, and she does like a sheep herder's bed and breakfast called Buck Creek, which is it's nice. I mean, she does like 5-star dining, and you stay in like sheep herders tents that are like nice, decked out with like kind of like what I do, well, she got a lot more money than me, so she can buy, like rusty gold and, weathered wood and things like this. But really nice touch that she got, really nice touch too. So, but I have cabin rentals, and I want to do cabins. See, now that I have the ability to have a flushing toilet out here, that's a game changer. Even though you can't poop in your little cabin, if you can go to a little community where there's a bathroom to wash your hands, and there's like, a stall in there, that's a game changer. Now I can rent these cabins out, buck and a quarter, buck and a half a night. They'll rent for that. I could even rent them out now without that, with the composting, but I was thinking about that. I don't even think I'm gonna put a composting toilet in them. Hell with that. I don't need to do that. If they're not going to use it, there's no reason to have a science experiment to see whether they use it or not. Maybe I'll just put the composting toilet in there and just use the urine. You know what I'm saying? Don't do say, look, we don't do number twos. There's no number twos, but you can take a number one, or, and, ladies got to tinkle in the middle of the night or whatever. You can get up and use that, little, and we'll take care of that. But do the deuce in the, and I would eventually put some breezeways in between these areas. You know what I'm saying? Between the cabin and that bathroom, make a breezeway. So there's a walkway over to from that, both of these cabins, probably not from the Rusty Dragon or the Rusty Butterfly in the back, but that'll just do a whole separate unit out there. I'm not going to, but I want to do super low maintenance. You know what I'm saying? Somebody come, and I'm not even probably put sheets in them. I'm not going to provide no sheets. Nope. You got to bring your own bedding too. So, I ain't trying to wash bedding. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to do none of that. No. I want to go in there and spray off a hospital mattress with some bleach, spray things down, wipe things down, get it all sanitary again for the next person. Put some stink pretty in there or whatever, make it smell good, and do minimal. No sheets, no nothing. Just maybe I was thinking about just dumping a composting toilet. Wouldn't even be that bad if they were only in there for a few days, and it doesn't sit very long. It wouldn't even, but tech with that. If I have an outdoor, flushing toilet where they can sit down, and if I have a bathroom outdoor, if I have a bathroom, they can go to, I'm telling you, this place, like I said, and then I offer that as a business. See, that's what I'd offer. I know that I could probably rent this place for even more than I'm saying if I said that these things are set up for business. They're set up through my high desert sky view cabins, or they're moonshine cabins is what I call them. I mean, I have that name. But it's moonshine cabin rentals. And, because I'm in the largest dark sky sanctuary in the world. There's not a larger dark sky sanctuary unless you're out in the ocean. That's a good place to see the stars. But on the land, I'm in the largest dark sky sanctuary in the world. But you can beat that out in the ocean, so you know. So, but it is like almost, it is very similar to probably being out, way out there in the deep water and just with no lights, no light pollution. So just a beautiful view of the stars. And Oregon has the most amazing stars. I've been to all 50 states, and this place, something about, I don't know if you guys are seeing right now, both Venus guys, that remember the great conjunction that happened, 2 and 3 BC. This was the Star of David. I talk about, man, I'm chalky out here, but the Star of David, that's Venus and Jupiter. Remember Jupiter, the king star? Remember, it gets its name the king because it's out the longest. Man, and it is the brightest star. It's out the longest. It's the brightest star in the night sky. If you look up right now, guys, those are going to keep getting closer and closer together. It's beautiful. This is the same thing. It's not going to be that same 2 and 3 BC conjunction, but it's going to get real close together again. So it happened in 2015. It actually conjuncted again. I told you that hadn't happened in over 2,600 years. So we're in a very special time again. If you're a celestial, wonder like myself, always my head in the stars. That's my dad always told me. But you got your head in the stars, man. Come back to this rock, Tracy. Come back to Earth, Nanu, Nanu. Nanu, Nanu. My dad used to say that to me all this time. Nanu, Nanu. Shazbot, come in. Hello. Mork from Mork. Come in, Tracy. Come in, Tracy. I'm talking to you. Hello. I know you're in there. Hello, hello. So he used to do that to me because I was spacing off. He was right. He had to get my attention half the time. I wasn't listening. I heard him. I just wasn't listening. So I tune people out. I can do that. I could tune out the world if I wanted and just disappear, but I can't do that because that would be against this covenant. So I can't do that. I can't tune out the world. I got to keep the skin in the game, whether I like it or not. So, there you go. Outstanding, man. Good stuff, Captain. Outstanding, man. What an amazing, what a beautiful place down there. You know what I'm saying? Man, living the dream. I'm inspired by Captain. Gonna try to see if maybe a year from now I'm a person I have to set goals. I don't make plans, but set that goal, and I think I can achieve. How long is your boat, Captain? Do you have a sailboat, or do you just have a regular? Do you have a sailboat, or do you have a, like a skiff, like a regular? I'm not sure what model, or there's so many different kinds of boats that you can take. I mean, it's obviously got to be a pretty good sized boat if you're traveling. So I'm not sure if you had a sailboat or not, if you told me that you had a sailboat or not. So, I'm thinking 35 feet at least, something, or maybe a little bit longer than that. Something I know I can get out into the deep water and not struggle with, the size of my, I know the people do it in little tiny sailboats, but it was something I would stay in. I'd want to have a nice, like say they have beautiful. I like the older sailboats. Some of those older models are so gorgeous. Just the woodwork in them is just unbelievable. 2001 40th Ocean Sailboat. Man, that is money right there. Woo! That is a beautiful boat right there. I could see that oh man. That is art. Some of these sailboats, the way that, I don't know. Wow. That is the perfect size boat. Are you all by yourself on that boat? Holy crap. Oh, wait, you were a captain your whole life. That's a lot of boat. That's a lot of boat, man. But you've done it, so there's nothing. That's child's play for somebody like you. I don't mean to, you know what I'm saying? Somebody like you did it your whole life. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a double V hole. Oh, man. Woo. Yeah, there you go. Double V hole. That's not going to go anywhere. So what a nice, that's a nice, I know which model is. Wow. Thank you, Father, for sending us Captain here to tell us his worked hard to be where he's at now and getting to enjoy the finer things in life, experience, you know what I'm saying? Experience. So, but yeah, appreciate your inspiration. I don't think I could ever own anything that nice. So I probably, like I said, maybe 35, 38, somewhere 36, 40, 40, somewhere in there, something like that would be ideal for me. I don't need anything quite that large. And I know that I can cut through, I've done a lot of research. I'm not a sailor, but I spent a lot of time in the ocean, and my dad loved the ocean. We spent a lot of time fishing out in the ocean. And like I said, I was up in Alaska and got to go out in the ocean in Alaska. And wow, that was an experience, man. Seward Peninsula and all some of the man, that is some amazing. Sit there and fish halibut, fish those inlets, and all that water raises and lowers up, and they get you down to where that thing just barely hits the bottom of that. Oh yeah, the Yanar. Yeah, that's freaking diesel. That thing is a freaking animal. Yeah, that's as nice to get. I mean, that's beautiful. That is. I mean, that's nice. I mean, that's reliable. Um, Yet sensible. You know what I'm saying? You didn't buy it probably just for looks. It's a very sensible boat with a motor that's tried and tested, and yeah, you're gonna be able to have that boat probably. Won't probably have to buy another boat. That'd probably be the last boat you buy. So, hey, look at how if they take care of boats, a lot of if they dry dock, they'll take care of. But if they're in the water, a lot of people stay up on them, and there are some old boats out there in the ocean that are still around, and they're beautiful. It's beautiful. Like I said, I'm going to try to find an older boat. You know what I'm saying? Uh, yeah, I know exactly which model you're talking about. I know. I looked at that boat, man. That is just an absolute. I mean, I'm not saying that's the finest money can buy, but it's probably the most sensible thing that money can buy for a boat. If you were to be out there in the ocean, you don't want to tip, and you want to have the ability to cut and move, and and get up and go if you need to go, get out of the storm and get away from, push, get a little bit ahead of it, ride the wave, ride the storm. So, um, hopefully not the perfect storm, but, yeah, that's a beautiful, I was looking at, cause I bought a house from somebody because he wanted to sell, and he wanted to sell, and I freaking bought the house from him, and then he turned around and stole the money from me. I was trying to help the guy out. He really wanted to sell it. I thought he could do it. I mean, he has a lot of issues, but I thought once he got out on the water, you know what I'm saying, that he could pull it off. It was a lot. I mean, he has all the right verbiage. He has all that he knows. He knows a lot more than me about boats, especially sailboats. So we were looking at some boats, and, you know, um, I wanted him. I wanted to help him out. And he had some house up in town that I wanted to buy for the ministry. And I bought it on paper and everything. And then I go over there and call the cops. He pulled a gun on me and tried to kill me. Literally happened on video. I happened to live stream that he couldn't pull the trigger. He tried, but I brought somebody with me. He's like, dude, that dude, he had that thing pointed right at, you pulled that thing out. He couldn't squeeze the trigger. So, um, anyways, he ended up screwing me over. I left, and the cops came, and then you know, he called the cops on me after pulling a gun and trying to kill me. Called the cops on me, but I have it live streamed, so whatever. I just walked away from it. I'm not. I get burnt a lot by trying to help people. Anytime I help people, I end up. It's not every time, but most times when I help somebody, it burns me. But I don't ever stop doing that. I'm not going to stop helping people. That's not. My treasure waits after I die. So somebody burns me, they'll have to pay for that later. I'm not concerned about it. Like I said, I try not to think about it. And Father, I just wanted to see the guy get on the um I wanted to see him get on the water. You know what I'm saying, because he just sits in front of a game. He sits in front of and dreams of going on the water and plays video games all day. A grown ass man. He's got some health issues, but I don't think anything that can restrict him from being out there on the water. He knows a boat. He knows the sailboats. He knows how to operate and knows it's not just get in it and sail. There is a lot to learn, but it could be learned if you absorb it and it's for you, you're going to pick it up. And so it was a bummer, man. It kind of broke my heart. I was more heartbroken that he didn't get sailing than stealing my money. So I wanted to see the guy get out there, and I would have liked to have the building for the ministry. I would have just given it to the ministry anyway. So, but oh well, Father didn't want him to have the boat. Father didn't want for me to have that money. He wanted him to have that money. So he's gonna have to be accountable one day for taking that from me. So, and he knows that I'm a pastor. He knows I'm a man of God. He's not. He's a Nordic, and he does, but he's, whatever. He knows more about most of the word than 99% of the religious people I talk to. So, anyways, how'd you get your boat? Well, how did you end up? I mean, we don't need to take costs, but I know what the cost of something like that. That's not a cheap boat at all. But that is probably one of the most sensible boats you can take out onto the water and know I don't like to say safe because you're not, but that has one of the most safest boats that you can be on, out in the water, especially in really heavy, unless you're just in some massive, one day I was interested in a sailboat. I got it on the free Craigslist. You got the boat for free. I tried to tell him about that too, that he could get a boat not for free, but when people, it's almost like how people lose their house, and I was talking about earlier, and they have to get out of it. If it's been sitting in dry dock and they can't afford to slip on it, or what I'm saying? No, I don't think so. They're like, I got to get out from underneath this thing. It's just costing me money. I can't. It's a money pit, so it is if you don't take care of it, if you're not using it, So there are boats that end up going for, very little sometimes for compared to the original purchase price of it, or some people will literally just give a boat away for the slip of, where the storage. If it's sitting in dry dock, or if it needs to be pulled out, or, it has to be pulled out of a marina or bay, or, wherever you're at. So, but I'm going to try to buy one. I might be able to at the time. We'll see. I'm going to go a year from now. I'm going to put it out about a year and see what I can pull off in a year's time. You know what I'm saying? Yep. That's what I'm saying. The fees. I tried to tell that guy, this is how you can get a boat. If you really want a boat, you're going to have to be patient. But if you wait, there's, there is times where, like I said, it's either, it's not even in the water. Some people, it's not. I don't know if you're sitting in the water, but it's a lot of boats like that aren't even in the water. They're sitting in dry dock, just making somebody make a payment. They're not even using it. It's just sitting there. That can add up. It's not cheap to set a boat, and for especially a 48-foot boat. Has to. So how cool is that? Thank you, Father, for the abundance. That's amazing, and you get the story with it too. That makes it even better. That's what makes it even cooler. But yeah, I think it would be a good lifestyle. I wouldn't have to do it forever, but I could definitely do it I could see myself doing it for years, to travel. Be a great way to travel. And yeah, I think you could see potentially you could have more diversity being out on the ocean and then hitting the shorelines than you would being landlocked. And, you could fly around, but I don't want to fly. I don't want nobody touching my balls. So I don't want to get radiated just to go somewhere. Oh my goodness. Really? Shoveling and raking kicked my butt today, guys. Wow. I am feeling it. But then again, they're trying to do back surgery. I mean, I'm not supposed to be out there digging or lifting anything. Yeah, look at that. Outstanding. That's amazing. Thank you for the story, Captain. Father can provide abundance. He can. I told you we were talking about that yesterday when you're in here, how Father can provide abundance. I have abundance. I can't share what I have. That's why I'm tired of this. I just want to go travel now. Nobody wants to share what I have. I got a beautiful homestead that could be a beautiful place for people, but nobody wants to join me. I've been trying for 10 years to get somebody to join me. So if nobody wants to join me, maybe it's just time to get out on the ocean, go on a boat, go travel and live my life and not worry about nothing. He said, be not anxious. So I was going to travel one way or another. I'm going to try to do that. I mean, like I said, I end up getting my son. I don't know where he's at, but what's going on with him. But yeah, it's a great way to travel. You're going to travel and you say, okay, I'm done. I'm done doing this building, and I just want to live and go have experience. And what a better way to do it than in a boat? You could do it on land. I'm not saying there isn't on land, but that's like adding to the whole experience. It just makes the experience that much more. And I'm stupid, crazy food motivated. So I like the idea of having a constant food source under your deck at all times. And you can get, I don't know how long would it take you to put away a grip load of fish, dry it, can it, freeze dry it. There's lots of ways you can process that fish so you can make that last, and you could have a lot of, put away and then have food right underneath your feet the whole time. You'd have more food, what you'd ever know what to do with. And then you could trade for food as well. You don't have to just catch one kind of fish. You can catch, lobster, shrimp. There's all kinds of different things. Obviously, if you're in a boat, maybe you'll hop up and go get some mussels, pick something off the urchins off the tide pools when the tide pulls back. I mean, there's so many different things. The ocean's like a freaking buffet out there. So be a pretty awesome lifestyle to have. Not, a fish catches a fish. The fish can get it in its mouth. It'll eat it. So catch one fish, you can catch a bigger fish, So there's always ability to have more abundance. Is there any more abundance on this rock than the ocean? You know what I'm saying? Nice. Yeah. it's yeah, I'm saying I think it's something somebody could do. I am somebody like me, with the modern day, you could take and go back and look through Oliver's videos. You can go look through other people's videos, get some time on. It's not doing it, but go watch what people are doing and go do it. Go do it. Oliver never sailed before. Look at he sailed to Hawaii, you know, went all the way across the ocean, sold out of Oregon, and went all the way over to Hawaii. How cool is that? Never, I mean, he sailed around, like I said, a little bit, but then he's got his leg, got his sea legs out there and said, all right, I'm doing this. We're going. And like I said, that's what that old man said. Well, there's a lot of people who talk about this. They might take the boat out in the harbor a little bit and go to around, but they never go out in the deep water. They never, it's always a dream. They don't actually set sail and go anywhere. Might skirt their coastline, but they never actually go out and take the boat out into the water where it's supposed to go and go see the world. You're not limited by land. You're not landlocked, so why would you limit yourself like that? So, yep. I think, like I said, that's something I think I could accomplish. And if I could get my stinking Social Security, I'm trying to file for Social Security, get my Social Security, get my back pay. I'll go buy a boat with it. That's what I'll buy a boat. You know what I'm saying? I'll go buy a boat. What a great, it's a home. It's a freaking home. When you buy something as large as you have, that's a house. I live in a 40-foot semi-trailer, and this is a house. You could put a couple could live in here with a kid. You'd have to make some adjustments, but you could pull it off. You know, this you're even bigger than what I got. I mean, you don't have the space I have in here, but the space is so different inside a boat. It's very masterly crafted. You know what I'm saying? Uh, there you go. Well, whatever. That's fine. You're doing it though, Captain. You're doing it. I'm saying, heck yeah, get it, do it, go. There'll be one time you'll be ready. It's going to go poke out and say, okay, I'm going over to Europe. You know, I'm going to go to Paris or something, or I'm going to go over to, nope, going over the Atlantic, you know, or going over the Pacific, and we'll go down into the South China Sea or something, you know. I'm going to go to Tokyo, or you'll get it one day. Watch. I know you will. It won't be long. You're already familiar with the water, I mean, so you're just trying to get your understanding on how the everything functions properly in different, you know, it's not always the same out there. Different times and different tides and different winds and different from different directions, and you can't think that you can just, you know, oh, it's just going to be 70 and sunny all day. Well, that's not what you want. You want it to be 70 and sunny and windy. No. So um, normally out on the ocean, I know I've been out on the ocean a lot. I know how, like I said, it doesn't always work the same. There's things that can come up, and there's things that you can see that there be a system forming, and it never quite makes, you know, doesn't form. There are different changes in tides too, different times of the year, different tides in the um, out there in the oceans, different circulation. Like we talked about that before. So, but once you get all that stuff down, it's like being a green thumb gardener. Once you figure it out, you're like, I got this figured out, man. I'm ready to go. Let's grow now. So I'm excited to do it. Like I said, I think even with my injuries and stuff that I have, I think I could still pull off a sailboat, you know, 40-foot sailboat. I don't want to have no double B hole, but surely, you know, just a nice, man, I like some of those older units. I forget there was some of the name of some of those older units that I was looking at. They're so freaking beautiful. They're so old, you know what I'm saying? Like old things. So those old boats are so nice. Just beautiful work on all the woodwork is super, you know, just, you know, it's not ornate like Victorian because it doesn't have the scrolling, but it's just very ornate the way it's built, the cabinetry and, you know, the countertops and, you know, like, you know, all the porthole windows are framed with wood and, you know, just beautiful, man, beautiful boats. I like the old boats. So I'm hoping to find me an old boat that's been very well taken care of through the years. And people do, you know, they'll take very good care of them. Some people will sail and that's all they do until they die. You know, they'll sail until they die. And that's how they retire, you know, and they take care of their stuff. Like I'm a veteran. I believe in, you know, preventive maintenance goes a long way. Speaking of, hold on, I do some preventive maintenance on my back for some herbs. Oh my goodness. Oh, I think I overdid it today, guys, but I don't have a choice. Sometimes in my life, I don't have a choice. I got to just do what Father makes me do. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Actually doing pretty good. Pretty good. All right, I'll put a little bit of live rosin on there. Thank you, Father. That's yummy. So it looks like to me, I'm a military veteran, that this government is about ready to set up to do a big event. I don't know if the big event's in America or the big event's over in Iran. I'm not picking a date, but I'm telling you, I've been watching this now, and I'm watching what they're doing. We're losing that war in Iran really bad, and nobody wants to talk about it. We have not really accomplished much of anything. Again, I've told you that Iran is not backing down. Um, they're winning. They're really in a real exit strategy right now. So watching how this current regime sits there and juices the stock market, they don't want oil to go down. They don't want oil to go down. They're making hand over fist right now. That's what the people are. When oil's at $100 a barrel, remember it was $50. It was 40. It was negative 40 at the COVID. Remember it went to negative 40. So um, they got something brewing. I just feel something in the air, and I think that we haven't seen any scaling down. They're over there literally still doing mine sweeping the Strait of Hormuz, and think about all those boats that are sitting in that, right there in the Persian Gulf. The Gulf of Persia is full of boats right now. It is. It's still from this blockade, and so it's like what I think we need a big event so they'll let all those boats out of there. Think about all the people who are invested in all that freight sitting there, billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars just sitting there right now. Been sitting for how long now? How many days are in? He said he was going to be 2 days. Remember, like he was going to be 2 days in Russia. He could 24 hours he'd pull out of there or whatever, and look at we're still over there. And I hope you looked what happened. Putin just bombed a NATO asset. So things just escalated much huge. I'm telling you, I don't think people are paying attention to what's going on right now. But you can only play this game for so long. Trump is a blatant liar and everybody knows it. So why would anybody believe anything he says? Irregardless of the politics, you can just look over this whole Hormuz thing and tell you that he's just going to lie to you to make some money. He's just going to lie to you to make some money. But I don't have skin in the game like that. I can look at things without being biased like that. And I'm telling you, we still have over 100,000 troops sitting in Kuwait. There's no scaling back. This war is not scaled back. We have done anything of this sort. We're close to a deal. Freaking Iran has been 2 weeks away from a nuclear bomb since the 90s. This has got to be the most, the credibility of, I don't see how anybody could give any of the government right now any credibility. The government's just going to make money right now. That's all the government's concerned about. Anybody who works for the government just making money, skimming and making money. Well, nobody went to jail over the Doge. Look, EGOD, Doge, how many billions of dollars did they just uncover that was being, misallocated wrongfully, whatever. And how many people went to jail? You didn't get a Doge check, did you? How about these tariff checks that Mr. Warp Speed, he said he was going to send out a tariff check, right? You guys, they're setting this up. This is what a country looks like when it's in free fall, when it's in collapse, just so you know. Go study history. This is exactly what happens to countries when they collapse. And that's what's happening to America. So people just don't want to face it anymore. So the United States of Israel, why do you think they're blending Israel's army with America's army? I already told you guys this was going to happen. Why do you think I've been calling it the United States of Israel? Because we send billions of dollars. We sent $3 billion over there, $3 billion every year for their program. We went to war over Israel. That was Netanyahu's war. Iran never attacked America. It was Netanyahu wanted them. He wanted to take out Iran. You know what I'm saying? So you got to pay attention to the bigger picture. I don't have any skin in the game. I don't care about none of it, but I still pay attention. I make sure I'm an eyewitness. I'm not going to have somebody tell me in a book, and that's one-sided because the loser gets left out of history. So this isn't a time not to, pay attention. This is a very important time, and there's got to be something bigger coming, is all I'm telling you. and I don't know what it is, and I'm not calling for no end of the world bull crap. It's not going to be the end of the world. Everybody said that, during the COVID, we're, made it through that, Ebola, 9, coronas, all that, so we'll see. Like I said, I know where it's headed. They're going to draft the American people. They're about ready to genocide as many Americans as they can possibly genocide, because this is the age of, well, accountability. How about that? You reap what you sow. You can't go around kicking everybody's ass for 50 plus years and making them pay for oil like mafia behavior and think that won't come back to bite you, because nobody's afraid of America anymore. So what? We got a bunch of technically advanced weapons. We don't have any oil to fight a ground war now. So they're just going to send them over and grind them up in these foreign countries. I know, I'm a veteran. That's how it works. War doesn't decide who's right, it decides who's left. So this is called eugenics. This is a genocide program. Again, these people don't care, whack the nations. Back the nations are like mowing the grass for the elite pedo class. They don't care about you. You're goy, and you don't see it. And so, well, why do you think they just feed you poison at the store? That's not food, that's poison. 98% of what is at the food store is poison. So, they don't care about oil. They don't need oil. They already have tech where they don't need oil. They never did kill anybody over oil. So they have Tartaria technology. You know what I'm saying? Pretty sore today. I had to get that trench filled, but I had the electric company come out and inspect the trench, and it passed. And so, bam, he said fill it. So I had to drive in town, file electrical permit, and came back home and been busting the hump all day to try to get it done. I didn't get it completed, but got it pretty darn close. So I bladed out one more time for me, and will be good enough. I kind of ruined the driveway, but I just need to. I'll have to bring in some more gravel in here. I think I want to bring in cinder this time. Do that red cinder. I'm out here in the desert, so they got cinder. I like the look of that red cinder. It looks really nice. So, anybody want to donate for some gravel? There's links in the description if you want to help out here at the ministry for some gravel. Don't feel obligated. You don't have to donate anything. So, again, I don't want to take nobody's money at this ministry, and I don't want your dirty money. So I don't need money. I need to get the hell out of here. So go on the road, have some experience. And that's, I don't need money to have experience. It's possible. So you go to Vietnam and live for $1 a day. So let's get the hell out of this expensive country for a minute, but I'm not struggling. But if you want to tie to the ministry and help out, there's a link in the description to Cash App and PayPal. It's like $300 for a load of gravel. So, oh my goodness. But it'll look nice out here. I'm going to probably need at least, what did he say, from the driveway to here, at least 35 loads of gravel. So at $300, that's, oh my goodness. Oh well, it's just money. So nice. Yeah, I did fabric pots I switched over to fabric. I'm not growing it now, but when I grow indoors, all I do is, yeah, good stuff. I like those air pots. I did real well when I switched over from having, doing the garden inside and then switching over to I have some out here, a couple of them. I should switch over actually. Right now I need to do some repots. I need to repot those. Ladies out in the garden are about ready to do. They're probably already hit that bottom of that. They're doing pretty good. The 3, other ones that I got, they're doing okay. The other ones are just kind of hanging in there. They might pop back. We still got a lot of time left. So. But putting the 400 amp breaker, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, me too. Let's go on the road, base. Let's go on the road. Let's get in a boat. I'm going to get a boat in about a year, maybe ish. Captain kind of inspired me here. Well, I was already leaving, you know what I'm saying? I was already going to wanted to travel. So it's just a better way to travel. So not a better way, just another way. Yeah, it could be better, it could be worse, you know, but I think in a lot of ways it could be a lot better. You know, and there are some ways if you mess up one time, you're shark bait, you're fish food. Can't mess up out there in the ocean, screw up one time. You do that on land, you just fall on your ass, you know. You screw up, yeah, you end up eating, you know, crab bait. So, but anyways, wouldn't that be an amazing life, man? To go out, to like have a couple guys or, you know, even a couple couples or something. If you think about it, if you had a nice boat, you know, something as large as Captain, he's got a 48-foot double V hull, four sail, you know, that thing is that is probably one of the most safest boats you can go out on the water in, unless you just bought some massive, you know, freaking liner or something like that. I mean, that is a liner, I think. Is that's considered a liner, isn't it? Isn't a 48? I forget all that. Man, I would oh, good stuff. Stone, go for it. That's a little small, but it could be done. We were talking about that. 27's fine. Get it. You just got to be plan ahead a little bit, you know, and follow careful of the storms and things you can get through. You're in a sailboat, man. You're in a bobber. It's a shit storm out here, boys, but we're making it. But I'd be blast. Yeah, me too. I got surgeries to do. So what's up, guys? Yeah, Captain's in here. He's out on a boat. He's out near, I think he said he was in Florida. He made it out Florida. He's going to head to the Bahamas. He's just skirting the coastline, learning how to do this, keeping keeping the land in his eye shot. But what an experience, man! And one of the most amazing, uh, yeah, one of the most amazing boats you can put out on the water. You know, a double V hull with four sails. That is hard. You can't tip that boat over, guys. You know what I'm saying? That boat won't tip over. It's impossible, but no, you don't need a passport. You don't need a passport because there's nope. I don't think if you got off land and you went on land and like traveled inland, oh my gosh, whoa! Apologize, guys. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Ooh. But yeah, there's apologize. I have a fractured vertebrae, guys, and they want to do surgery. I mean, I actually have busted my back more than one time, and I have never had surgery. So just bear with me. A little overdid it today. That was freaking a little over the top. Oh, but yeah, I think something like that. 48. Um, yeah, just get your passport. You know, just get a passport. Just go get your passport right now. If you don't have a passport, go get a passport. You don't need real ID if you have a passport. So Scott, yeah, I went there and saw they want to do bone scan and because I want to see where all my leaks and where all my uh, uh, yeah, just get a passport right now. If you don't have a passport, brothers, sisters, go get your passport right now. It's a little bit of a process, but it's not that damn hard. You might need things like your original birth certificate, which may take time to send out for it, things like that, or a certified copy original birth certificate, things like that, that you can't just walk in and normally get a birth certificate. It does take a little bit of a time, but it's good to have in your, in your arsenal. Something to have if you need to leave, you can go, and it's just better to have it. Get a visa is different, but I think it just makes sense. I got mine. I didn't care. I don't like being on paper, but I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that. I'm all over. I'm over that. Wow. But it seems like again that future tense. I might have to go on land. I have my passport, but go have surgery so I can try to make myself better because my back is pretty hammered, and go get the vertebrae and disc replacement. And I got to go Friday. Yeah, go get. Yeah, definitely. It's just worth having a passport now. If you're in the U.S., get your passport. You know, there may come a time, guys. We're really close to a draft in this country, much closer than you think we are. So if you're an American and you're under the age of 42, you're going to get drafted. I don't care if you're a male, female. I don't even care if you're a foreigner. They're holding people in these nice facilities and going to give them a path to citizenship. So I'm a veteran. We're involved in too many military operations. I said that was going to happen. I've given you all the prognosco, forehand knowledge, and I'm not calling for the end of the world. Just because there's a war doesn't mean it's going to be the end of the world. It might be the end of the world for you if you don't get out of the way of it. Start messing with people, and there's going to be lots of ways this war is going to be very multifaceted, and it already is happening. The Third World War already started. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. It's already here. Sanctions. That's how the Second World War started. We embargoed, cut off their supply chains, choked them out. They had no choice but to bomb Pearl Harbor. They were going to come to the mainland, but the captain said, "Hey, you cannot go to America in the mainland. There is an American behind every blade of grass with a gun." And look how many guns since then, with all the school shootings and they want to take the guns from this country, brothers and sisters. That's what they're doing. This event is going to follow with an event where the guns will be taken from Americans. And you can say that's not going to happen, but I don't care what you think. Trump said he was already going to bring the National Guard to your door during the COVID. Remember the whole corona nonsense, Yeah. So they're setting this up. They're just going to change the country. It's not going to be the end of the world. You're just going to work for the country. That's what they did during the Second World War. They put Americans in work camps. If your parents were of Japanese descent, it didn't matter. If you were born in America, it didn't matter. Remember? So it doesn't matter that you're born in America now. They'll put you in a work camp. These 15-minute cities that Trump has been talking about, these are millimeter wave camps where they use sound wave technology to keep you inside of that, wallless. Now you're in a prison by debt. You've been enslaved by debt. You don't even need prison walls, and you've been enslaved. You won't go anywhere. You just go to work. You know what I'm saying? There we go, Stone. So here we go. That's what happened. Their Second World War equals the Third World War. They're doing the 23 ritual, brothers and sisters. I'm the only one on the internet that's doing this, and I don't give no glory to me, but I'm the only one doing the 923 is the 23 ritual. This is done. This is their equinox ritual. Sol Invictus, worship of stars, 923, 1223. That's the day my dad died. 323, 623. 923 was the birth of the Virgin. Remember, this is all part of their cycle. They're the ones who perverted the calendar to align the new year in the middle of the winter. This is what they're doing, brothers and sisters. We're already in the age of Aquarius. We're already in the apocalypse. That started back with the conjunction. Look what's up in the sky right now. Those two stars, 2 and 3 BC conjuncted. Remember the conjunction of 2020, whatever. It's not 2020, but anyways, this is all part of this worship. So World War II, the Second World War equals the Third World War. This is nothing new under the sun. They're doing the same thing. Everything they did during the Second World War, they're going to do it again. They're doing it again. 2, 3. The Second World War equals the Third World War. The seventh king of Revelation is being revealed as the eighth king. Like I said, I'm the only one. They put my work on the debt calculator, okay? Why has the work of this ministry been put on the debt calculator now multiple times? I don't know. Maybe because I've been doing this 13 years. This isn't my first channel. Remember the 923 told you back in 2014 when Mr. Barack Obama with his man-shill gender bender, man-shell was in office, that he put out those 923 executive orders that they used during the the Cornholio virus. TP for your bunghole, remember? So people forget. They're very quick to forget. I don't forget anything. I don't. Not if it's important. I file it. I have a machine in my head. It's called a 5D computer. But anyways, D wave, right? Ooh. So it's just a variable, like an algorithm. But anyways, rhythm is a dancer. How about that? Get back in the closet, Al Gore. You and Mr. Thurnberg. Both of you guys get out of here. So but anyways, this is already happening. We're already in the Third World War. Everybody's waiting for World War III because everybody's an idiot. America is the most abomination nation there ever has been to walk this rock. It makes Rome look like child's play. But here we are. You got to take, the good with the bad. And so why don't you do what Captain's doing and get in a boat and get the flock out of Dodge instead of doing a flock of, you could mess with a flock of seagulls out in the ocean or something, instead of a flock of goats, a herd, actually, remember, herd of goats, MAGA, high priest of the Satan Church, greatest of all time. Yeah, time to get the vodka out of America. So it is, guys. It is. How much worse does America need to get for you need to leave this country? If you could leave right now, if I could leave, I would leave today. If I could leave America, I would leave today. Fuck yeah, I would. I don't care where I'd go, anywhere but America. Anywhere but this country. Will be anywhere better than America. Tell me how much worse. We're run by a bunch of PDF files. And everybody knows it. There's more Congress millionaires than there is the populace. Trump just took his net worth from $2 billion to $6 billion. He's made 3,600 insider trades. Remember? Martha Stewart went to jail for just one. Nobody went to jail over EGOD, Doge. Remember? None of this. This is it. This is the collapse, brothers, sisters. This is the reset. This is the Ouroboros. This is the time overlapping itself. This is the snake eating its own tail. This is the time. This is spoken of thousands of years ago. So Canada's the same dicks. Same dicks up there in Canada. So I don't care what they say. So Canada is America. It's the North America. So like Nate from Canadian Prepper says, the same thing, pretty much the way he talks about it. It's better to be a Canadian because you can talk crap about Trump or Biden and not have any skin in the game because you got Trudeau. All right. Anyways, they're all a bunch of tyrants up there. It's even worse in Canada because it's more expensive up there. Everything's more expensive. Everything. Sister Sabrina in here, she's from Canada. Stoner Connections from Canada. We got a good, Lions from Canada. We have a huge following. So, from Canada, and we have more people who come from outside this country to support this ministry from in America on a regular basis. It's pretty amazing. But hallelujah, thank you, Father, for sending the people here. I hate America. If I could leave America, I'd leave today. I'd leave Canada too. Canada sucks. Canada. So I like their coins. I like the 5.9s. I like the Canadian Mint. I like the toilet paper on my butthole when I wipe my butt with your nice toilet paper that you guys send us. We don't need Canada, remember? Well, then you ain't gonna get no toilet paper, your butthole. So your bunghole, I shouldn't call butthole, but yeah. So there's a lot of tyranny. They're taking the weapons and whatnot, but I'd get the hell out of Canada too. Same thing as America. Canada is America. It's still part of the Queen. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. We don't have the Queen. We have the head and eagle, but that's that same thing. We got Washington District of Criminals, still part of the Queen. Merchant law. Canada is America. It is. It's the same thing. It's no different. It was already before. You know anything about Canada, America, and the French and all the province up north and all that and the Beaver Wars. I know a lot more. I mean, remember they blazed the Oregon Trail out here, so most people don't know anything about Canada or even anything about America. But Canada's disgusting. It's a beautiful country. I freaking love Canada. It's beautiful. I live in Alaska. It's even just as beautiful, if not more, up there. Denali and all that. I mean, it's gorgeous, but most people are anyways in Canada are hugged right up against the U.S. border. Like 90% of the populace lives right within that border. Almost like 90% of the populace lives right on the coastline. They're truly hugged up. They don't live up in that tundra and all in the... yes, it does. Yep, Admiral law. But same thing here, Stone. We're under merchant law. Same thing. it's the same thing. Water law, land, air, and water. Remember? So nothing's changed. It's merchant law here. It's all part of the old Queen's law. They do the same thing. They changed the Act of 1871, took us right back under the Queen's law. It did. People don't read, but this is not a country. It's a corporation. So is Canada. It's all under merchant law. It's called merchant law or admiral law, but it's merchant law is what it is. It's old merchant law for the Queen's law. It was actually written on paper. It was a trust. It's written on paper. And if you failed that, pay back double, remember? So I know this goes back. I'm an eternal being. I've been here forever. I have, not as long as Father. He was knowledge, Father's knowledge. That's where prognosco. If everybody asks if this started, it's the word is prognosco. That means to have knowledge beforehand. That is Father. Knowledge beforehand. How was this created? Knowledge, you dumbass. But anyways, most people don't have and they lack it. That's what he said. My people shall perish for lack of knowledge. They'll gnash teeth. Where there's no knowledge, that's Father is knowledge. That's where you die and go to knowledge. You don't die and go to the sky. He said to meet him in the air head, remember? Not in the sky. But people are idiots. But that's okay. I'm not trying to change. I'm an eternal being. I don't ever die. Death is a doorway. You don't die. Time is, there's a clock above your head. People think you can go to the clock. They're idiots. So they think they're spinning on a ball too, but on a rock, spinning and water's just sticking to a ball. So I don't listen to people. People are idiots. I don't know what they're talking about. So they can't give me the definition of an idiot. They can't give me the definition of hell. Actually, if you don't know what the definition you're speaking, then you don't know what the hell you're talking about, do you? And then ironic, like Alanis Morissette, huh? But anyways, moving on in the conversation here. Definitely appreciate people who come from other countries, and we'll have a discussion about how disgusting, filthy America is. Yeah, clocks don't do anything but control people. The only reason you had a clock was for food, but that's it. You woke up, you thought with your gut, damn, I need to get some food in my belly before I freeze my balls off at night. And I wonder why that lady last time I whacked her over the head, she didn't stay around. Maybe I won't whack her over the head next time. Maybe she'll stay around. She brought me a rabbit, then she ran away like a rabbit. Where'd she go? Food. And yeah, that's what you'd be thinking with your gut. People can't even use their gut or instincts anymore. They don't have nothing. 3 generations ago, they could walk into the woods and feed themselves without eating people or eating a drive-through. Piggly Wiggly or the Dutch Brothers or the Soybees or the Sobeys or Soybees, the Sobeys or whatever where you're doing your shopping. So yeah, it's all mind control. So people don't even grow any food in America. 40% of the populace grew during the Second World War their own food. The government told Victory Gardens to now less than 1% of America. So that's why 99% of the people in America, I hate the sin that they commit. I don't hate them, but they're filthy, disgusting people. Americans are, I hate the sin of America. It's filthy. They're just swine, vile, consume 40% of the rock's resources, is 3% of the populace, and you could throw Canada in there too. So don't think that you're out of the game. So North America, just go right over the border. In South America, well, you go to Mexico and everything changes. Kids running around, music's on, no HUD, housing authority laws, none of this. Actually, she just gave everybody free health care. The Mexican president gave everybody health care. We just sent $3 billion to Israel, and I can't even get back surgery because I don't have the health care to cover it. And I'm a United States Army veteran for this country. I hate it. It's an abomination. No, we already did that, remember? Then it was 4 + 5 is 9. When you skip Joe Biden, 4 + 7 is 11. President blind 11, remember? President, yeah, right. He's a corporate leader, remember? He's their talking head. Hey, he's failing though. Nobody wants to go to his little party on the 14th, huh? All the singers are backing out. They're like, hell no. The only one is Vanilla Ice, and he said he don't care because music's not political. And I think that's a pretty admirable thing to say. But why? I don't care. You're backing a pedo, Vanilla Ice. I don't associate with anybody who will do anything with a pedo. So Muslims, Catholics, oh, you Christians do the same thing too. You do it behind closed doors, and you're just as filthy too. So I don't want to hear it. Oh. Yeah, I know that doesn't normally work, but I'm saying, there is people, you could take something like Gaddafi in South Africa when you do it right. And, I'm not into socialism, but if the government's using the resources for the people and they were doing things for the people, things would be different, but no, he's going to build a UFC stage, for the, and not, and instead with all that money, he could have put that money into healthcare, right? Donald Trump, man, what a joker, man. Anybody who follows him at this point is vile. I mean, anybody who would, and there's always going to be like the diehard Bidens and the diehard whatever. They're never gonna. Yeah, well, that's not why they killed him. They killed him because he was going to pay for oil, something other than the U.S. dollar. They didn't kill him for that. The desalination machines he brought in, the growing sorghum in the interior, tapped into the San Juan aquifer. Frick yeah, Gaddafi, dude, that he's probably one of the most amazing people to ever walk this rock. He truly was. And I can't wait to see him at the wedding. I think he'll be at the wedding. I think he'll be there. He did the work for Father. He did it for the people. He worked for the people. He did what it was, if it was to be done right. Socialism is not, normally doesn't work, but, that shows that if it's done properly, it can work for the right. But then you got, remember Hillary Clinton that said, we came, we saw, and then we remember whatever, she just literally stripped the man down naked, drug him behind a vehicle after raping him, is what they did to Gaddafi. So, no, nobody needs when nobody needs oil, brothers, sisters. We never need to kill anybody over oil. Donald Warp Speed has the Tartaria technology that is John Trump, that Tesla was telling everybody that he had, not rediscovered, but telling everybody that was technology. Remember, he had 80, you know what I'm saying? We never need to kill anybody over oil. We don't need oil. Ever did. Never did we need oil, but they won't allow you to have magnets. Magnetism, polarity, sound wave frequency, millimeter wave technology, directed energy, free energy. I've done all these things. I know these things. I'm an eternal being. These have been around. You think that people hadn't figured out to wrap copper around a magnet and spin it and make electricity a million years ago? People are lost, brothers, sisters. So it sucks. I'm a veteran. We need to kill anybody over oil. But this is what Father wants. Father gave Trump the technology. He thinks he can hold it and have this battle at the end, and he's not. He's going to lose. That's the way it's written already. Prognosco, to have foreknowledge of. Remember, it was already written. I also did foreknow who I did predestined to conform to the image of my, the Hamashiach, to be the firstborn above brethren. So, prognosco. I also did foreknow. Remember, he said, I knew you before you were in the womb. Jeremiah, I set you aside. How about Esau? He hated Esau. He loved Jacob. He called him Israel, not a country. Israel's not a country. Israel is Jacob, and Jacob is a man. What the hell are you talking about? Israel. That's not Israel in Revelation. I am Revelation. Remember? I am the apocalypse. Whoa. So you made it. Look up. Your redemption draweth nigh. So what do you think a UFO is? There is no such thing as a UFO. It's a GFO. Get the fuck out of here. It's a government flying object, and they're the ones holding the technology. It's a magnet. That's all that is. Magnets. That's right. Magnets. Flying magnets. Oh my gosh. Did you figure it out? If you can cancel the polarity, or magnetism, you can lift a whole football stadium off the ground and take it and put it over somewhere else. Wow, that's not rocket science, guys. Hey, those are some pretty nice waves there, NASA. Remember, Aquanet we're all gonna die. Chlorofluorocarbons, global warming, ISIS, Kim Jong-un's gonna bomb us. Operation Mockingbird, the Mockingbird media, you've been sold out, huh? Too much television, so. Yeah, no, it's pretty disgusting what they've done, because we never needed to kill anybody over oil. We have technology that, like I said, if you listen to what I said, there's no such thing as gravity as a man-made term for polarity. Electric is magnetism. Think of static electricity, how that might work. Like a balloon, you know, two sides, it can make your hair stand up, or balloon will stick to your, you know, you have both sides of magnetism, you know, that's called polarity, you know, polarity. You don't have poles. We don't have poles. That's why the toilet spins one way in the north and the other way in the south. It's called magnetism, you ding dong. But anyways, I don't want to talk about magnets, man. People don't. Father told me, you know, when I was real young, I couldn't have magnets. He did. He said, no, I can't have magnets. So I have one magnet now. You know what I'm saying? He told me I couldn't have magnets. Father did actually, there was one time I did hear Father's voice just stronger than I ever had heard it in my life. When I was real young, I was going to spend my whole life with magnets. I figured out that they were like the superpower, like kryptonite of the world. And he said, no magnet for you. I was like, huh? I listened to it. So I always liked magnets, but I couldn't mess with them. Father said I couldn't have them from a young age. So my walls talk to me, the stars talk to me. So, and he's never talked to me like that ever again. He talks to me through scripture now. You know, when I read scripture, he's never talked to me before like that, but that's the only time I've ever heard really Father ever like talk to me. It was about magnets. You can think I'm crazy, but so does everybody else. So that's okay. Noah was crazy. Tesla was crazy. Einstein, you know, some of the most unique minds on this rock, they call him crazy. So I'm fine with that. Just so you know, I don't care. Remember, I didn't want to be here from the beginning. When I got here and I realized I was alive, I'm like, I'm not quantum leap. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm in the wrong body. I'm not, this isn't my body. This isn't who I am. I'm Hokadesh. I'm spirit. I'm not this flesh. This doesn't define who I am. Nothing I've ever ate, taste, touch, smell, own, see, say, saw, whatever. This is not who I am. I'm Tracy when I leave here. Who's going to go meet Tracy when I'm gone? Nobody. People don't call me that now. I told you they call me crazy, Terry, Stacy, Jeremy, my younger brother, or Sean, my older brother. I've been called my name less than my own name. I'll be crazy and you can just be the man's nuts, right? Remember, I don't care about what people think about me. If I thought about people would have thought about me, maybe not been doing this now for 13 years on the web, right? So people just, you know, come in, it's entertainment for them. So they can't, well, it's entertainment. They don't do anything other than entertain themselves. That's a big game. Life's like a big game to them. Look, you sank my battleship or something, right? So thank you, Father. Oh, crap, man. Oh, so I got to get that box up tomorrow on that pole. Put that conduit together. And I already sent the money off for the inspection for the electric, so it should leave town today. I did talk to the postmaster there, and so it might make it down to that, because you know it's an hour and a half from here. So we'll see. Maybe by Wednesday we'll be off and on the grid. You know what I'm saying? Off grid and on grid. None of you are off the grid. Get out of this chat. Leave. You're weak. You're weak. Get away from me. You don't grow no food. You don't do nothing but play little tiddlywinks or whatever you play with yourself. Hub, chain, pull, porn, or whatever. Pornea. Pornea is idolatry. You like to serve your eyeballs, or you pull your own chain. How about that? Enjoy your gnashing of teeth. So hopefully here soon, what will happen is we'll be able to get this septic in, and I'll be able to move forward too. From there, I'll probably actually start renting out these cabins, you know, because I haven't rented them. I didn't have anybody issue with them having them, you know, using a composting toilet. But now that I have the ability to have those both, you know, off the grid, on the grid. I can still provide them. Now they're not dry, camp cabins. Now I have that facility there. I have, lighting and whatnot. It's a game changer. So that'll give me the ability, actually, like I said, I think be able to produce enough for this ministry. I'll be able to leave too if I find somebody to manage and hold this down, which would be pretty easy to do. And I feel be able to actually leave this, um, you know, and know that it'll still be able to operate. So, oh yeah, my back is feeling it, man. I overdid it. I overdid it the other day, and I just had to do it today. I had no choice. Some days I don't have the choice. Yeah, but do you have any live rosin? I got some live rosin here. Some live rosin. I said, oh well, we're just gonna have a little live rosin. Pretty yummy. I made some beef sausage and potatoes earlier today. It was pretty dank. And then I went and made, because I didn't eat all of it, and then I took and put some sweet Thai chili on that after cooking it in the pan. That was off the chain too. That was a pretty good second meal. Thank you, Father, for good food, man. I can't wait to have even better food, right? Oh yeah, get the hell out of America. Stop eating the goy slop, right? Eat the goy slop. Oh my goodness. No, I stretch every day. I stretch, but I'm a veteran. Remember, I have to stretch out or I can't move. I can't operate if I don't stretch. I have to stretch out. So I can hold physical training, and I've also been through a lot of, physical therapy because I broke my back now 3 times. So I won't have the surgery, but I've had to go through physical therapy and all that. TENS and electrolysis and spa, hot, cold. They put me through all of it. So nothing works. I need to have reconstructive back surgery. So, they're trying to do bone scan on me now so they can try to figure out where my leaks and do an EMG so they can figure out why I just have too many nerve problems, too many breaks, too many discs that have been ruptured, too many. Got hit in that face with a grenade and my C5, racked my neck back and my C5's all messed up now too. So, whatever. I'm just going to go try to get fixed. I'm going to try to get my Social Security. I've been paying it since I was 15 and get my back pay and go get back surgery in a boat. That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to get in a boat, go somewhere else and have back surgery. You know what I'm saying? What do you want? Hydrocodone? I want no hydrocodone. No, it says no narcotics in my record. So your snake's up a pole. No, it works for some people. You just don't want to overuse it. I just don't like. I'm more of a holistic medicinal. I don't want any foreign substances in my body. So, but some people need, like I said, but there's better ways to medicate yourself within snakes up a pole. So, and anything that the big farm guys trying to copy is just copy man-made. Right? It's nature, bark and flowers and trees and roots and whatever oils and just copy nature. Man-made is not better than Father Nature and Father Time. That's how it goes. In the city of Compton, boy. Oh. Compton. Yelling Compton, but you moved to Riverside. Look at that. Nobody wants to play for Mr. Warp Speed because he's a PDF file. Mr. Warp Speed's a PDF file, and everybody knows it, but nobody wants to talk about it. I'm not doing good, but I'm trying. Trying to make it as best I can. I always try to make the silver lining. Just because I talk about things that people don't talk about. From the from the hoe. What's up? What's up? I miss Potato Land and Sugar Beetville. More sugar beets than. Uh, Never mind. I'll just keep it simple. I mean, simplot. Oh, my bad. Yeah, no, if it is for the right application, I just don't like snakes of a pole. Doesn't work. Cannabis doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? Cannabis doesn't work for everybody. It's kind of like in Idaho. You can't have it. But almost everybody ever met in Idaho chooched on some herbs. You just did like back when it was not legal in Oregon. You did it behind closed doors. You didn't, just do it in the open. Like you go to Eugene, it's just everywhere. Oh, can't get away from the smell. It's like Captain Crunch. You can't get away with the crunch because the crunch always give you away. Say, there you go. I know me some potato heads, so I love me some Idaho, man. I did. I lived in Idaho multiple times. I've lived in Idaho and moved there because my first time they wanted to do back surgery. No, you'll never get medicinal soon in Idaho. You're wrong. I know more about your state than you probably know, but that's okay. People do that. You're not even from this state, so you're a mountain home. That's the most Nazi freaking part of the state that there is. I love mountain home because I could sell the living piss out of food, and that's because nobody else could sell it there. It's a military base. Nobody could get the clearance to go on there, you know what I'm saying, and sell in that area because they're Nazis down there. The cops aren't, the people, I'm saying, are fine, but just the law enforcement are absolute tyrants. So they can't bust you for siege. Yeah, they will. So remember, Idaho is the only state they said they'll be the last state, and they will not legislate medicinal cannabis or recreational cannabis. Read their legislature. So, but everybody that I met there, that was pretty cool people. Anybody, they chooced on some herbs, so it's not like it's not there. It's just comes over from Fruitland, or if you can get it from Fruitland to Mountain Home, boy, it's a lot more down there. Maybe down to Twin, boy, it's even more expensive down there, isn't it? So, but anyways, love Idaho. I was either going to move to Cascade or where I'm at now. So, yeah, no, Idaho is the one state that said they will not legislate any cannabis. But everybody I know there that I ever met chooched on herb. So, well, so there's cannabis all around Idaho. Think about it, but it comes in through Jackpot. It comes through in Fruitland. It comes in up north. And anyways, but Idaho's a pretty cool state. Do like Idaho. Every state has its issues, guys. It does. Every state. This Oregon has a bunch of. Oregon's got issues too, guys. But I like being there. I enjoyed it. I like the people there. People are different mentality than Oregon. There's no other state. I've been to all 50 states. There's no two states are united, and every state is different. It's kind of crazy how each state does take on its own persona and its own vibe, and they're very different. People from Vermont aren't like people from Florida. People from Idaho aren't like people from Tennessee. People from Maryland are not like people from Oregon, so yeah, they legalized everything here, base, at one point in time. Then they rolled it back. All drugs they legalized here for recreational use, which it should be. You can't tell somebody what they can't, but because of stupid fentanyl that Mr. Warp Speed's bringing in with his buddy Xi Jinping, right? Yeah. Then they rolled it back. And I actually was one of these people. Once again, I'm like, you guys, this shouldn't happen. They're like, what are you talking about? It's because people, instead of throwing them in a cage for having a little bag of something of whatever, and I don't condone anything. I only use cannabis. I don't use anything else. But it's not what goes in a man or a woman regally filed, yoked under this covenant. It's not what goes in us. Which defiles us is what comes out of us. Okay, but anyways, Mr. Warp Speed is responsible for that. Just like he's the one who dropped 3 steel buildings with 2 airplanes and brought you into a war with Iran. So I don't run from any of this. I don't talk in circles. I don't talk around corners. I give it to you straight. So, but, oh my goodness. But thank you, Father, for, the ability for people to be able to use some of these things and for example, psilocybins, can take people have PTSD. People get really bad PTSD. People who actually take too many drugs and get a little bent over, they can bring that, get no communication, nonverbal, nothing, and bring them back into, out of their psychosis and bring them back into a state of normality again without, tweaking them, trying to give them a frontal lobotomy, or people are idiots. Like I said, I don't remember. That's okay. They don't know what they're talking about. An idiot is somebody who's never seen it or heard it in their life. So most people can't define the word idiot because most people are idiots. They don't have any definition in them. So, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, Idaho's a pretty Nazi state when it comes to cannabis, but most people that I ever met over there that were halfway decent, I don't care if they were a realtor or whatever they were. I've dealt with a lot of people, every walk over there, and seen most of them use cannabis. So, but it's okay. Like I said, every state has its issues. I don't like the legislation, what they did here. They ruined the cannabis here when they had all legislated all recreational. You still couldn't distribute and manufacture, but instead of throwing somebody in a cage and putting a criminal record and then that following them for the rest of their life, get them some help, get them into some kind of counseling, because throwing somebody in a cage, there's no counseling. They don't help anybody in jail. They don't help anybody in prison. There's nothing there. There's no rehabilitation in the system. It's there to throw you in a cage. And if you don't cop charges because somebody else, you got to defend yourself and catch a felony or something, then, it's not good to put a record on somebody like that and then follow them around the rest of their life because they got a small bag of something that's recreational amount, not going to hurt anybody else but themselves. But like I said, most people are idiots. They don't have any idea about humanity, and they're racists, and they think they're spinning on a ball. So they're idiots. So if you think you're spinning on a ball, you can leave right now. Please leave. Don't even say anything to me because we're not going to start talking about shapes in here. Okay. Go play with your it's an adult stream, not for just adults. We don't talk about stick your little square peg in somebody else's round hole. American pie. Okay. Goodbye. All right. Moving on. I think I'm going to load me up another, cheat you on some more herb here for a minute. But it sucks because a child in Idaho is sitting there having, grand mal seizures, like somebody took and hit like a sock with a bag with a lock in it and beat the living piss at them for a week, a month. They hurt. And over in Oregon, the child, because there was an Oregon medical marijuana program for a juvenile program for, a child could access to oil. So, anybody who has ever said anything about cannabis is an idiot. So you have cannabinoids in your immune system. You're getting arrested for cannabis. You got a record for cannabis, but the cop who arrests you has it in his immune system. It's part of your immune system. But cannabinoids at a cellular level, it's in your body. But let's not talk about that. So anyways, there's a reason why they do what they do, brothers and sisters, and they're not stupid. So the system is screwed. It's not here for you. It's here against you. And you can't tell somebody what to do to put in their body or not put in their body. That's disgusting. If you think you can leave. Remember, no victim, no crime. I'm asserting the natural organic laws that have always been here. Their rights is what there are. There are no laws. I'm not under laws. I don't go on dates with men, follow mandates, codes, ordinances. Remember, he blotted out the handwriting ordinances, the book of Colossians 2 and 14. So you just keep doing your repugnant laws that he says in the Constitution, if it's not adjudicated through the House, Congress, and Senate, judicial, legislative, and executive branch are not supposed to follow, but you follow all these fake laws, and you'll be judged. You'll be judged by the law that you go by. So you go by the corporate Walmart law. Yeah, that's what's coming. More Waltons, the one who interned American citizens during the Second World War, they're going to do it again. You're going to be judged by the Walmart law. And he stood up to their Pharisees, their big boys, the oppression, taxation. Remember, you've turned my father's house into a den of thieves. No, you forgot about that. So just go do your Walmart, worship the clock law, and fill out your W-2 war dollars and go send some more money to kill more Iranian children. Oh, wait, you forgot Putin just, bombed a kindergarten. Oh, don't talk about that. Let's just talk about other things that don't make any sense, right? Like America. It don't make any sense, get it? Not a single penny. Gulf America! If you think it's Gulf American, you can leave now, too. Get out of here, Gulf America. You can whack your balls somewhere else. The man's nuts. Grab him, get him out of here. Get him up against the wall. Never did build that wall, did he? People are lost, man. So that's why America is the way it is. The laughing stock of the world. Used to be a tough nation, stole the nation, threw tea in the harbor over 2% taxes. Now they get a state, a federal, a net, a gross. It makes me sick. And then they tax their money on you. Get taxed on your phone bill, house bill, trash bill. Remember, your war dollar taxes go to war. Tax for your gas goes to potholes, you idiot. What are you smoking? Speaking of potholes. These people have the intelligence of a fly. Most Americans are dead brains. They are zombie corporation heads. Talking TikTok rot brain is what they have. Swiper, no swiping. Too much animation. Stealing their inheritance, remember? Swiper, no swiping. Yeah, I like it. Backpack, backpack. They ain't got a go bag. They couldn't even fight their way out of a paper bag. And I'm not talking about fighting, I'm talking about growing food, remember? Taking some of their own power. Maybe some chives in the windowsill. Stick toothpicks in a avocado seed. And, no, it's all genetically modified now, huh? You don't have no seeds. You don't even have no cannabis seeds. That's how weak you are. You don't have no cannabis seeds. Remember, he said have extra oil. So how are you going to make extra oil if you don't have extra cannabis seeds? See, you already failed the test. It's just a test of your faith. God, he'll be with you every step of the way. Sinner, because I know I'm not living right. Yeah, man, you don't eat the whole tray of brownies there, all right? Who dat? Say it again. Say it again. 88 gigawatts. Remember? Got to get back in time. Got to fill the flux capacitor, baby. Are we welding? Oh. Thank you, Father, for the word, man. All right. You guys got any good conversation? Can any of you learn me anything? Learn me something? Man, it's late. Woo-hoo. Yeah, what time is it? All right, we're going to have to wrap this up in about 8 minutes. You're not going to get no more of this HD fat here in the mother of all YouTube channels because we toss 98% of the people out of here. So most people can get lost, remember? Number 10 socket. If you got a wrench in here and you start acting up, well, number 10, you can get a number 10 socket and get lost too. So but we won't condemn you if you act like an idiot. We've never thrown anybody, permanently banned anybody, put the ban hammer on anybody. So when the light comes on, we treat it old school, remember? It's an adult stream. I'm kind of like that old school. Children are not meant to be seen or heard. Go outside and play. Okay, when the lights come on, get it, ding, and come back in and have a conversation with us. So otherwise, we'll mother you with Father's word. So that's what it does. If a child can come between a mother and a father and get their way, then you know what that does in the household, right? So yeah, no children, no bad apples in here. We'll toss you out of here, remember? Fruit salad. Cosmos, how about an orderly arrangements? We'll bring it back in order. So I was going to do a little word salad, but we're going to not do that. So guys ain't learning. You guys are quiet. You turn into the silent majority all of a sudden. You just used your Fifth Amendment right and remain silent. It's called Miranda. Remember your right to Miranda. Fifth, do you know your first 5 fundamental rights of your First Amendment? Tell me your first fundamental rights of your First Amendment right. I'm using one right now, remember? Anyone? Bueller? No one? All right, you guys ain't schooling me nothing. I asked you to learn me something. I'm sitting here giving you a ball a minute. And are you spinning on a ball faster than the speed of sound? Can you see what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm saying? You see? Nope. No, they went silent on me. Damn YouTube. Did you put the band hammer on the chat? About the cannabinoids. Talking about the edible lectors, cannibal lectors. Let's spark the chat. We'll put in. Oh, I lost my chat. Where'd my chat go? Oh, they always do to me. That's okay. Bunch of Nazis on YouTube. So, yeah, we showed the peace symbol earlier. Remember, don't think I come to bring peace. I come to bring a sword of division that will divide. So, read it. Matthew 10:34 through 39, the backbone of this ministry, not some religion. Oh, we got something now. I see something now. I had to respark it. I'm filtering out all the spam, so no spam will be allowed in the chat. YouTube will filter because we don't eat pork in here. No low energy swine. So, you could eat pork. I don't eat pork, but tastes good, but it's disgusting. Oh. But I don't do a lot of things I used to could. Thanks for making a comment here. Anybody, can you learn me something? Everybody bounced. Good. Get out of here. I said bad apples and they left. One fat apple upsets the whole cart. The whole apple cart. Little leaven leavens the whole lump. Sin was leaven. Sin. You're marked. Are you marked or are you sealed? What's the difference between being marked and sealed? He said, put my seal on their foreheads. We've got a silent crowd again, boys. Got a bunch of boys and girls in here, huh? Nope, it's an adult stream. You got to get out of here, kids. Get away from me, children. Children. You're somebody's child. Oh, man. Oh, it was a good day at the ministry, guys. We got the power pole up the, or not the pole, but the, I did the pole the other day. Got the trash filled in. The inspector came out and looked at the line, said it's perfect. Fill it up. Good job. So we didn't waste a bunch of his time. He's a busy guy, especially right now. We had some storms out here, a lot of outages. He had to go do calls on. So thank you, Father, for the word. Get to share it here. Nobody seems to be sharing it anymore. The word is, it says famine. To be famine of the word. The great falling, not from the sky, you idiot. What, like 3 steel buildings with 2 airplanes? Look at my puppy. What are you doing, puppy? What are you doing, puppy? What are you doing? You're trying to give Dad a hug, or what are you doing? You're being silly. You're being silly. Oh my goodness. All right, the puppy's trying to get in here. He needs to give Dad a hug. Oh, he's trying to give Dad a hug. Oh, okay. Dad's hugs. All right. There it is. Okay. Dad'll give you a hug. All right. You're a good boy today. Help the Dad today. All right. What do we got? All right, Dad, put that back. Good boy. You're a good boy. All right. Mr. Magnetic. All right. You guys are talking. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming in, base. Feel the bass. Appreciate your time. Stone in there talking a minute. Hey, quit talking. Who the is that? Came in here for a minute, so I don't know where they went. It was double 88, remember? 88 gigawatts. So thanks again for your time. Appreciate. Got to hit the hay here, man. a little overworked myself today, so take me a minute to wind down. I can't just go to bed, but I'm gonna have to try to wind down. And you guys get out there and get your stuff done. Build your ark. You're supposed to build an ark. You're supposed to be doing, you know, he said girded in my service. So hopefully he's telling you to be doing something. You got some purpose on this rock. You're not just going to work and paying taxes to kill people in other countries so you can sit around and lap a bunch of goy slop, or you'd be judged for that, just so you know. You'll be held accountable for those Iranian school children. Actually, the women, they were all women teaching those schoolgirls, so they're all women that you killed. And so, or little girls with your tax dollars. So tomorrow's Tax Tuesday. Yeah, they'll tax you tomorrow too. So day 2 tea in the harbor over 2%. You got to remember, it said there's 2 witnesses. Stand on the X, you little idiots. So, whatever, just keep doing your little rituals and keep telling yourself you'll be fine, and go down to the silent majority and don't do anything about it. And it's not a sit down. This ministry's not. So get out there and do what you're supposed to be doing. He said, have your lamps trimmed. Nobody knows the day or the hour. Have extra oil. Be girded. Believe it in me. Remember, it's an action word. Believe is a verb, not a noun. So you can't think, you can't believe a thought. So that's not what believe is. So better get off your ass. Remember, ass, somebody who can't be moved, like the earth is the ruled, right? Not below your feet. So I want to go back and study a little bit too before I come back in here. Study up a little bit. Just go read Matthew 10:34 through 39. That's your homework. The body's a temple. Remember, read Matthew 10:34 too. You don't need to read it anymore. You can just say it. Okay. It's already written on your heart if you'll read it, but you don't want to read it. You just want to go watch football or get on the web or something, do something else. So I told you should be doing something, but I'm not going to make you do anything. Father will rebuke you and tell you. It's like a thorn in your side that doesn't say anything, right? But it just keeps nagging at you. See how that works? Yeah, that's Father. So much Agape, brothers and sisters. Thanks for your time here at the ministry. Appreciate the HD Fat. That's where it's at. That's where we mother of all YouTube channels. We toss people out of here. People are they're bad apples, so we don't have not one in here. Don't want a single one in here ever. Don't want your subscription. Don't want your time. Thanks for don't let the door hit you like 2 cheeks to the same hole where the good Lord split you. Yeah, Lord means master, and he can't serve 2. Cannabinoids, that's what makes up our, remember they give it to people who have autoimmune deficiency syndrome because their immune system's breaking down, collapsing. They give that cannabinoids to help them, kind of like a disc in your back, so don't push on the sciatica. So I'm a medicinal cannabis grower. There's a difference between medicinal cannabis and recreational and homegrown even. So, but hey, thank you, Father, for the cannabinoids. So there must have been a seed when he picked us up and made us from the dirt, huh? He made us from the dirt. There must have been a cannabis plant blew by and blew a seed out, and it's like perfect. Father doesn't make any mistakes, does he? Or maybe he added it to the dirt. Or I don't love the dirt, remember? But it is my favorite flower that grows about the dirt. Not peace, hippie flowers. So power. So, space brain. So, whew. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful because it helps slow down the receptors in my body that tells my body to send the signal pain. Like I said, they're getting ready to do an EMG, and I don't want to get shocked and bone scan me to send a bunch of fluid through my body to try to, get all the pinpoint where all the leaks are at, because I got so many. They want to get it down to a fine point. So if they're going to fuse me together, they got to get it right. So I see what they're doing, but I don't want to get fused together. So I want to have disc replacement and vertebrae replacement, not fuse me together, like weld me together. And then I can't even I won't be able to reach I've fallen and I can't reach my bong hit. How about that? So, all right. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Thank you, Master, for coming in. Like I said, people they do all kinds of different things, man, but not for me. Cannabis is a medicine for me. And so it's not worked for everybody, but I know it's helped me through the years. And I've had injuries since I was young. So I had scoliosis. They found that when I was in junior high school. So I've always had some kind of back pain, getting tossed around, fighting and stuff. So getting whacked in the head with the face with a grenade didn't help my back either. So thanks, state police, for hitting me in the face and got my C5 vertebrae up. So, but, all right, guys, got to go. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Come back when you have some more time. There's links in the description if you want to support the ministry through a monetary time, but come back when you have time. I don't want your money. I want your time. So I'm the timekeeper. You're not getting any time you've spent here back. So too bad, so sad. Sucks to be you. No, just kidding. Time is here. Wish you were great. No, time is here. There's no such thing as time. No. The weather is here. Wish you were great. No, the weather's great. Wish you were here. All right, we got that one ironed out, didn't we? Just toyed with you. All right, brothers, just thanks for your time. Do appreciate it. Time's more valuable than anything on this rock if you can trade that time for knowledge. Nope. Knowledge is the most beautiful, powerful thing on this rock. That is the word, and that is my treasure. So don't cash your pearls for swine. He tells us that. The enemy came and sowed seeds while you're sleeping. Pearls, treasure. Don't go to sleep. So I'm not saying I got to go to bed, but don't spiritual rest, okay? He said he would come like a thief in the night. So be girded in his service until he returns. Hallelujah. Gospel's so beautiful, isn't it? So thank you, Father, for the gospel. Thank you for this ministry. Thank you for the HT fat. The fat was the best part of the meat. I come here and feed the ministry some more meat and not give them some watered down milk. So milk and honey, the land of milk and honey, right? So, all right. Much agape. Thank you, base. Again, I appreciate the ear. Just if it's one person here, you know that. I don't care about anybody else. The other 8 of you can be in base on the way out here. So feel the bass. Whoa.